on the record. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to case number 9716, Chaberton Solar Bonneville's LLC's application for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct a 5.0 megawatt solar photovoltaic generating facility in Harford County, Maryland. This is a pre-hearing conference. We'll start with appearances, starting with the company, Chaberton.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Andy Flavin, representing the applicant, Chaberton.
Is your mic on? Is it bright green now?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, Mark Macklin, also representing applicant. Can you hear me?
I can? Can you?
Mark Macklin, also representing applicant.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Steve Tolson, Assistant Attorney General, representing the Department of Natural Resources Power Plant Research Program.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Brock Miller on behalf of the Office of People's Counsel.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Catherine Moriarty, Assistant Staff Counsel on behalf of Maryland Public Service Commission Technical Staff.
Okay, good afternoon to you. I saw that Chaberton filed on, I guess yesterday, docket item number 20, certificates of publication.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like to enter that into evidence at this time?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay, any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, so mail log 307598, the certificates of publication filed February 14, 2024, will be entered into the record as applicant Exhibit 1. I did not see any requests to intervene. Ms. Moriarty, are you aware of any conversations with Harford County?
Staff has had some conversations with Hartford County, and we have some meetings set up to discuss the project.
But as far as you know, they don't plan to intervene?
No, as far as I know, they do not plan to intervene.
Anyone else have any information on interventions?
No, Your Honor.
So on February 1st, PPRP filed a notice of recommendation of completeness. The application was administratively complete as of January 26, 2024, the date on which Chaberton filed the status update, its response to the notice of completeness determination, providing the sole remaining item to cure the deficiencies identified by PPRP. So in accordance with COMAR 20.79.01.07a, decision on the application should be rendered by January 26, 2025, unless otherwise directed by the Commission. So at this point, we can discuss a scheduling order. Did anyone have a proposed scheduling order?
Yes, Your Honor. The counsel for the parties have been conferring, and I understand there may be some recent tweaks to what we had come up with, but we do have at least a general proposal
Okay.
that I believe the parties are aligned on.
Do you have something written, or do you just want to tell me about it?
Would it be possible for us to just tell you about it?
Sure.
Okay. So for this case, we're proposing that the applicant would file direct testimony on or before April 10th, 2024.
Okay.
And for staff, the PPRP, and the Office of People's Counsel, we're proposing that they would file their direct testimony on or before July 19th, 2024. In this case, the parties are proposing only one public comment hearing scheduled for the week of July 29th, 2024. And for a settlement status update, we are proposing August 5th, 2024. And for an evidentiary hearing, if settlement is reached, we're proposing August 13th, 2024.
In previous cases, we have at times had an initial informational public hearing. You may be aware of that, or you may not, but some of the parties may. Was any consideration given to that, to hold a virtual informational public hearing at the beginning?
I don't think PPRP would be opposed to it. They'd like to only have one in these community solar cases because they're a little different than the utility scale generation stations. And we thought that if you have the applicant's direct testimony and PPRP, OPC, and staff's all on file, then having a public hearing after that allows them to at least read or review all of the information and perhaps make more informed questions or at least understand exactly what the project's going to look like. But if Your Honor wishes to have a virtual one earlier in the process, PPRP doesn't object.
Anyone else have any thoughts on that, either way?
Your Honor, we had initially in our initial proposal had thought that there would be 2 public hearings, one virtual and one in person. We're certainly fine with the PPRP's recommendation for one, but we wouldn't object if Your Honor feels it would be appropriate to schedule a virtual public hearing, before Chaberton's direct testimony is due.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be before your testimony, but it would be an initial, more informational hearing. Obviously, PPRP wouldn't have the recommendations, but sometimes projects, if we wait till the end, members of the public indicate that they didn't know about the project until late in the process, and it's good to have that first hearing if there's any anticipation of, members of the public needing to know about this and wanting to learn about it. So, I would think right about the time of applicant's direct testimony would be appropriate, which you said April 10th.
Yes, Your Honor. And
So it's something that week, and again, it could be virtual.
Yes, Your Honor. We're not opposed to that. The applicant Chaberton does its own public outreach and comment process, but we have no objections to that, to a virtual public hearing.
Okay. Any conflicts anyone needs to make me aware of that week?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. July 29th is a firm date or just that week?
We proposed the week of July 29th, Your Honor.
The week of, okay. And you'd be locating somewhere to have it in Harford County?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. While we're on that, the ideal, what I'd like to be able to get to is to have the hearing in Harford County, but also live stream it so that people can participate virtually if they don't want to come to the location. So that's going to be your task, is to be able to find a location where that's capable, or that is capable of handling that. So a live hearing, but also can be virtual and people can participate virtually, and everyone can see.
Understood. Thank
Okay.
you, Your Honor.
And while we're on the subject of hearings, there's a possibility that we may or may not be, well, we should still be here in July. If for some reason we're not still in this building in July, you'd also be responsible for finding a hearing room for us. If we don't have a hearing room, this building is going to be rehabilitated, but I think not till the fall.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I add one thing on PPRP has asked me to recommend that when the applicant files their direct testimony, it would be very helpful if they file a decommissioning plan with it at that time, and we could avoid these, taking the decommissioning plans to the Wednesday administrative meetings. It could be part of the overall process of approval. It just seems like it would be more complete, and I think the public also would like to know, not only how the project starts, but how it ends. It would put the bookends on the whole issue.
Does the applicant have a problem with that?
No, Your Honor. We'll be happy to do that.
Filed at the time of your direct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just for the record, as part of Chaberton's application, Chaberton stated that to avoid unnecessary delay, the applicant proposes that the commission initiate the CPCN proceeding subject to conditions requiring that prior to construction, the applicant demonstrate that A, the interconnection approval has been obtained, and B, the required upgrades to the distribution system will not have a harmful impact on that system or on the surrounding community. Pursuant to Public Utilities Article 7-207E2 Romanet I, the Commission cannot take final action on the application until due consideration of the effect of the project on the stability and reliability of the electric system. So, although review of the application can proceed, a proposed order will not be issued that makes the CPCN subject to a condition, as requested, that prior to construction, the applicant demonstrate that the required upgrades to the distribution system will not have a harmful impact on that system. Okay. So instead, your request for a waiver of COMAR 20.79.03.01 H, I, and J will be construed as a request that the application be reviewed in phases pursuant to COMAR 20.79.02.03 C. So the review of the application will commence in this initial phase, but as I said, no proposed order will issue until staff is able to submit testimony as is necessary. And so if that requires an extension of the deadline I mentioned at the very beginning, the 365 days, it will be applicant's responsibility to go to the commission to get an extension of that deadline.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
And then I had a question for PPRP. I don't want to put you on the spot, so if you can't answer, that's fine, but I thought I'd ask. I don't know if you noticed in the appendix to Chaberton's application, they talked about the Forest Conservation Act.
Yes, Your Honor.
And as I understand it, that starting July 1 of this year, I printed it out. 5-1606 of the Natural Resources article, A6, solar photovoltaic facilities may not be subject to afforestation requirements under this subtitle. Has PPRP determined how they're going to deal with that change July 1?
May I have a moment in place,
Sure.
Your Honor? Your Honor, I've conferred with PPRP, and since that is now the law, they will not require afforestation for these solar photovoltaic facilities.
Okay, so the may under 6 is interpreted as cannot. Okay, thanks. I was going to put in standard discovery guidelines. Is that what the parties were looking for? Anything unusual there?
We're fine with it.
So we usually do responses before us. Did you start discovery? Did discovery commence?
We have
You won't do any until they serve direct.
not done any.
So the period between your direct and their direct responses to data requests we do in 10 days,
10 days.
and then after staff and PPRP and
10
OPC.
business days, I should say.
Yes, 10 business days, yes. And then between the time that staff and PPRP and OPC, if they choose to file testimony, and after that date that you file your direct, then responses we do in 5 business days. Electronic, well, it'll be in the scheduling order, but
Thank you, Your Honor.
anybody have any issues there?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And you know that if there remain contested issues, we'll set up a status conference and we'll schedule additional dates for rebuttal testimony and a contested evidentiary hearing.
Understood.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else they need?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I apologize. Just one quick question. In terms of, I think when this pre-hearing conference was scheduled. Your Honor scheduled it before the PPRP submitted their recommendation for a completeness determination.
Yes.
And we were just wondering, on behalf of Chaberton, if it would be possible to get a determination from Your Honor on that.
I said it already. I said it at the beginning.
Would
It's
it?
on the record now.
Okay, so
You not want to get the transcript, or you're looking for something in writing? Because 20. The application was administratively complete as of January 26, 2024.
yes, I understand. Is it possible to get it in order? My understanding is that Chaberton needs that some written acknowledgement of that to move
It'll
forward.
be in the notice of procedural schedule that I
Okay.
issued.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I understand you have another one, right?
We're staying here.
So this hearing is adjourned.